So you've decided to do a 72-hour fast. Respect. That takes guts, ironically. Guts you're about to completely ignore for 3 days. But here's what nobody tells you before you start. Most people who attempt a 72-hour fast don't fail during the fast. They fail before it even begins. There are 4 critical things you need to do, and 4 things you absolutely need to stop doing in the 48 hours leading up to, during, and coming out of your 72-hour window. Miss even one of them, you won't just waste 3 days of hunger. You could actually slow your metabolism, spike your cortisol, and come out heavier than when you started. This video is your full transformation protocol. Let's not ruin it. Here's the thing about a 72-hour fast. Everyone focuses on the during, the hunger, the headaches, the moment at hour 47 when your brain starts negotiating with a gas station hot dog. But that's not where the transformation gets ruined. It gets ruined in 3 windows most people completely overlook. What you do the 48 hours before you start, what you do during the fast itself, and, maybe most critically, what you do when you break it. See, your body doesn't experience a 72-hour fast as one event. It experiences it as a sequence, and, like any sequence, if you fumble the first step, everything that follows gets harder, slower, or just broken. Most people go in blind. No prep, wrong foods beforehand. They white-knuckle through the fast, making rookie mistakes the whole way. Then they break it with a massive meal and wonder why they feel terrible and the scale didn't move. That's not a willpower problem. That's a protocol problem. And we're going to fix it. Right now. Let's talk about what's actually happening inside your body the moment you decide to start a 72-hour fast. Because most people think fasting looks like this. Stop eating. Body panics. Body burns fat. Down. Evenly. Here's what's actually happening. Your body runs on glucose. Think of glucose as the cheap, easy fuel your body keeps in the front pocket. Always ready. Always accessible. And where does it store that glucose? In your liver and muscles, in a form called glycogen. Now, the average person walking into a 72-hour fast has somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000 calories worth of glycogen sitting in storage. That's roughly 20 to 36 hours of fuel, just sitting there. So when you stop eating and your body needs energy, it doesn't immediately start burning fat. It goes to the front pocket first. This is the part 99% of people miss before a 72-hour fast. If you walk into your fast with a full glycogen tank, which most people do, because they ate normally the day before, your body won't even look at your fat stores for the first 18 to 24 hours. You're not fat burning yet. You're just emptying the front pocket. And it gets worse, because while you're burning through that glycogen, your insulin levels are still elevated from your last meal. And insulin, we'll get into this properly in a second, is essentially a lock on your fat cells. High insulin. Fat cells stay locked. No fat burning. Not yet. So here's the real problem. Most people spend the hardest, hungriest, most miserable part of their fast, hours 1 through 20-something, not even in fat-burning mode yet. They suffer through the worst of it and miss the best of it. And that is what we're going to fix, all right? Let's follow the chain reaction, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. It starts with your last meal. Step 1. You eat. Doesn't matter if it was salad or a burger. Carbohydrates, even from healthy foods, break down into glucose and into your bloodstream. Step 2. Blood glucose rises. Your pancreas detects the spike and releases insulin, the hormone whose entire job is to shuttle that glucose out of the blood and into your cells for energy or storage. Step 3. Some of that glucose gets used immediately for energy, the rest packed into your liver and muscle cells as glycogen, and anything beyond that converted to fat. Step 4. Insulin levels stay elevated for 3 to 5 hours after that meal, sometimes longer, depending on what you ate. Here's why that matters. Insulin doesn't just manage glucose. It also suppresses lipolysis, which is the scientific term for fat breakdown. In plain English, as long as insulin is elevated, your body physically cannot access fat stores for fuel. Step 5. You finally start your fast. Insulin begins to drop. But, and here's the kicker, if your glycogen tank is still full from your pre-fast meals, your body doesn't need to touch fat yet. It just burns through glycogen first, patiently, methodically, like it's working through leftovers in the fridge before ordering takeout. So by the time you're 12, 15, even 18 hours into your fast, still burning glycogen, still not burning fat, still suffering, and your cortisol, the stress hormone, is starting to rise because your body perceives prolonged food absence as a low-level threat. Elevated cortisol does two things you really don't want during a 72-hour fast. 1. It starts breaking down muscle tissue for glucose through a process called gluconeogenesis. Your body is literally eating your muscle to keep blood sugar stable. 2. It signals your body to hold on to fat. Evolutionary survival instinct. Your body thinks you're in danger, so it protects its long-term energy reserves. So let's recap the chain. Big pre-fast meal gives full glycogen tank gives delayed fat burning, elevated insulin gives fat cells locked, high cortisol gives muscle breakdown plus fat retention, result gives you suffer for 24 hours with minimal fat loss. This is why your 72-hour fast hasn't been giving you the results it should. Not because you're weak, not because fasting doesn't work, because the sequence was wrong from the start. Let me walk you through exactly what a wrong 72-hour fast looks like. And I'm going to be specific, because the devil here is absolutely in the details. It's the night before your 72-hour fast. You decide to have one last normal meal, maybe even a slightly bigger one, to prepare pasta, rice, bread, maybe dessert. You've earned it, right? You're about to fast for 3 days. Here's what that meal just did to your fast. It loaded your glycogen tank to 100%. It spiked your insulin, which won't fully drop for another 4 to 6 hours. And it set your fat-burning start time back by potentially 18 to 24 hours into your fast. You thought you were preparing. You actually just made the first 24 hours significantly harder and significantly less effective. The hunger hits harder when glycogen is depleting rapidly. The headaches are worse when insulin is crashing from a high. The energy dips are more severe. Meanwhile, someone who prepped correctly the night before, they're already transitioning into early fat burning by hour 12. Same fast, completely different experience. Here's the mistake that turns a productive fast into a miserable medical scare. You stop eating. You're drinking water. Good. Hydration matters, but you're drinking only water. By hour 24, you've got a headache that feels like someone installed a construction site behind your eyes. By hour 36, you're dizzy every time you stand up. By hour 48, your heart is doing this weird fluttery thing and you're Googling symptoms at 2 a.m. This isn't a fasting problem. This is an electrolyte problem. Here's what's happening biologically. When insulin drops during a fast, your kidneys shift into a mode where they excrete significantly more sodium. As sodium leaves, it takes water with it and pulls potassium and magnesium along for the ride. These 3 electrolytes aren't just nice-to-haves. They are responsible for nerve signal, transmission muscle contractions, including your heart, muscle fluid balance inside and outside your cell's energy production, at the cellular level when they drop. And they will drop during an extended fast. You don't just feel uncomfortable. Your body starts functioning worse. cortisol spikes to compensate for the cellular stress. Your already elevated stress response goes up another notch. And here's the cruel irony. The symptoms of electrolyte deficiency minus fatigue, brain fog, headaches, irritability are almost identical to what most people call fasting symptoms, so they assume it's normal. They push through it. They think they're being tough. They're actually just dehydrated and mineral depleted and making their fast objectively harder for no reason. Some of you are going to try to work out during your 72-hour fast. And some of you should, but most of you will do it completely wrong. Here's what happens when you hit a high-intensity workout. We're talking heavy lifting, sprints. HIIT during an extended fast past the 24-hour mark. Your body needs glucose to fuel that intensity. It doesn't have much dietary glucose coming in, so it ramps up gluconeogenesis. Remember that process from earlier? Breaking down muscle tissue to make glucose. You're literally breaking down the muscle you're trying to build or preserve to fuel the workout that was supposed to help your body composition. High-intensity exercise also spikes cortisol significantly. Stack that on top of the already elevated cortisol from your fast. You've now created a prolonged high cortisol environment, and as we covered, high cortisol equals fat retention plus muscle breakdown, the exact opposite of what you wanted, the right approach. We'll cover it in the solution, but the short version is, movement during a 72-hour fast should be low intensity and deliberate, not a performance metric. This might be the most common and most damaging mistake of all. You've done it. 72 hours. You're on the other side. You feel incredible. Actually, sharp, clear, light, and then you eat an entire pizza. Here's what just happened inside your body. After 72 hours of fasting, your insulin sensitivity is at its absolute peak. Your cells are primed and ready to absorb nutrients at an extraordinary rate. Your digestive enzymes are at reduced levels. Your gut lining has been in rest mode. You just introduced a massive glucose load into a system that is hypersensitive to insulin. The insulin spike that follows isn't just large. It's disproportionately large compared to a normal fed state. The result: reactive hypoglycemia. Blood sugar crashes hard after the spike. You feel dizzy, foggy, exhausted, sometimes nauseous. Your body, now confused by the sudden reintroduction of food after a prolonged fast, may begin storing a disproportionate amount of those incoming calories as fat, a protective response sometimes called refeeding fat storage. You also risk refeeding syndrome in more extreme cases, a dangerous electrolyte shift triggered by sudden carbohydrate reintroduction after prolonged fasting, which affects phosphate, potassium, and magnesium levels acutely. 3 days of discipline, and done in one meal. Not because you lack willpower, because nobody told you what your body actually needs in that critical refeeding window. All right? Now we fix it. Here's the complete 72-hour transformation protocol, broken into the 3 windows that actually matter. Step 1. Start depleting glycogen 24 to 48 hours before your fast begins. This is the single highest leverage thing you can do before a 72-hour fast, and almost nobody does it. In the 24 to 48 hours leading up to your fast, shift your diet to low carbohydrate, high protein, moderate fat foods. We're talking eggs, chicken, fish, beef and starchy vegetables, leafy greens, broccoli, zucchini, healthy fats, avocado, olive oil, nuts, zero refined carbs, zero sugar, minimal fruit. What this does, it stops adding to your glycogen tank while your body gradually burns through existing stores. By the time your fast begins, your glycogen levels are already significantly lower. Fat burning starts earlier. Hunger is less aggressive. Insulin drops faster. You just shortened your suffering phase by potentially 12 hours. Step 2. Time your last meal deliberately. Your last meal before the fast should be high in protein to preserve muscle mass. During the fast, moderate in healthy fats for satiety, and slow energy release, very low in carbohydrates, and it should be eaten at least 4 to 6 hours before your fast officially begins, giving insulin time to drop before you start the clock. Step 3. Prepare your electrolyte supplies before your fast begins. Make sure you have sodium, Himalayan pink salt or sodium chloride, and flavoride possum cream of tartar or electrolyte supplement magnesium glycinate or citrate supplements are non-negotiable for a 72-hour fast. Have them ready before day 1, hour 0 to 24, the transition phase. This is where your body shifts from glucose dependence to fat dependence. It's the hardest window, but if you prepped correctly, it's significantly more manageable. What to do? Drink 2 to 3 liters of water throughout the day. Add a pinch of Himalayan salt to your water. This replaces sodium being excreted by the kidney stone. Magnesium glycinate in the evening, 200 to 400 milligrams. This also helps with sleep quality, which drops during extended fasts. Movement, light walking only, 20 to 30 minutes. No gym, no intensity, hour 24 to 48. The fat burning phase. This is where it gets good. By hour 24, assuming you prepped correctly, your glycogen is largely depleted, insulin is low, ketone production is beginning. Your liver is now converting fat into ketones, an alternative fuel source for the brain and body. What to do? Continue water plus electrolytes. This becomes more critical now. Potassium supplementation if you haven't already. 1,000 to 3,500 milligrams daily from food sources or supplements. Kansai black coffee or plain green tea in the morning. Caffeine can modestly enhance fat oxidation and mental clarity. Nothing added. Nothing. Not even a splash of anything. Movement, still low intensity. A longer walk is fine. Gentle yoga. Nothing that spikes cortisol. Sleep, prioritize it aggressively. Growth hormone, which peaks during sleep and during fasting, is doing critical cellular repair work right now. Don't cut it short. Hour 48 to 72, the autophagy phase. By this point you're in territory that most people never reach, and your body is doing something remarkable. Autophagy, from the Greek for self-eating, is your body's cellular cleanup process. Old, damaged, dysfunctional cells are broken down and recycled. The research around autophagy and longevity, immune function, and cellular health is genuinely exciting, and extended fasting is one of the most powerful known activators of it. What to do? Electrolytes are critical here. Don't skip the mental clarity often peaks in this window. Many people report extraordinary focus between hours 48 and 72. Use it, work, think, create, avoid the scale during the fast. Water fluctuations will mess with your head. What matters is what the scale reads 3 to 5 days after you've reintroduced food and your body has restabilized. Light movement is still ideal. If you feel genuinely good, a slow resistance training session with light weights can be done, but not to failure and not for performance. Think maintenance, not progress. This window determines how much of your transformation actually sticks. Step 1. Break the fast gently, not gloriously. Your first food after 72 hours should not be a meal. It should be a signal. Start with bone broth. It's rich in electrolytes and collagen, easy on the digestive system, and begins gently stimulating digestive enzyme production without triggering a large insulin response. Wait 20 to 30 minutes. Step 2. First real food. Small, protein-forward, low glycemic. A small amount of easily digestible protein. Soft boiled eggs. A small portion of fish. Plain Greek yogurt, some non-starchy vegetables, cooked, not raw, easier on digestion, no refined carbs, no sugar, no large portions. Not yet your insulin sensitivity is extraordinary right now. You want to use that, not blow it. Step 3. Reintroduce carbohydrates gradually over 24 hours. Over the following day, you can slowly reintroduce complex carbohydrates, sweet potato, oats, legumes. Keep portions modest. Pay attention to how your body responds. Full normal eating resumes after 24 hours of careful refeeding. The result: your body absorbs the nutrients from that re-entry meal at a rate it almost never achieves in a normally fed state. Your cells are primed. Your metabolism isn't confused. It's ready. You come out of this fast leaner, clearer, and with your metabolism intact. All right, let's bring it all together. Because I know some of you are going to rewatch this, and some of you are going to screenshot this part specifically. So here it is, the complete 72-hour transformation protocol. Stripped down to exactly what you need to do and when. 48 hours before your fast, switch to low carb. High-protein meals immediately: eggs, meat, fish, leafy greens, healthy fats. No bread, no pasta, no sugar. Let your last meal be protein and fat dominant. 0 refined carbs. Eat your last meal at least 4 to 6 hours before your fast start time. Stock up on electrolytes, sodium, potassium, magnesium before day. Wondering your fast, hour by hour, hours 0 to 24, drink 2 to 3 liters of water daily. Add a pinch of Himalaya and salt to your water each morning. Take magnesium glycinate in the evening, 200 to 400 milligrams. Move lightly, walking only, 20 to 30 minutes. Sleep 7 to 9 hours, non-negotiable. Hours 24 to 48. Continue water and electrolytes. Increase potassium intake. Black coffee or plain green tea is permitted. Nothing added. Keep movement low intensity. Walk, stretch, breathe. Protect your sleep window aggressively. Yours 48 to 72. Electrolytes remain critical. Don't get lazy here. Lean into the mental clarity. This is your peak focus window. Avoid the scale entirely until 3 to 5 days post-fast. Light resistance training is permitted if you genuinely feel strong. But no intensity, no failure, no performance goals breaking your fast. The re-entry sequence. First, bone broth. Wait 20 to 30 minutes before anything else. Second, small, easily digestible protein. Soft eggs, fish, plain Greek yogurt, with cooked non-starchy vegetables. Third, wait at least 4 to 6 hours before a full meal. Over the next 24 hours, gradually reintroduce complex carbs, sweet potato, oats, legumes, in modest portions after 24 hours. Resume normal eating. What to expect? Realistic timeline: hours 0 to 18. Harder than usual if you didn't prep. More manageable if you did. Glycogen depleting, insulin dropping. Hours 18 to 24. Energy may dip. This is the transition. Your body switching fuel sources. It passes. Hours 24 to 36. Ketones rising. Mental clarity beginning to sharpen. Hunger often decreases, counterintuitively, as ghrelin stabilizes. Hours 36 to 48. You're in it now. Most people report feeling surprisingly good here. Lean into it. Hours 48 to 72. Peak autophagy window. Cellular cleanup in full effect. Focus is often extraordinary. Some people feel the best they've felt in months post-fast. Day 1 to 3. Water weight will fluctuate. Don't panic. Don't judge the fast by the scale on day 1 after a feeding. Give your body 3 to 5 days to restabilize before you assess results. One final reminder: the 72-hour fast is not a punishment. It's not a test of suffering. It's a tool. Used correctly, with the right prep, the right support, and the right re-entry, It is one of the most powerful metabolic resets available to you without a prescription, a clinic, or $1,000 program used incorrectly. It's just 3 days of unnecessary misery with a disappointing result. You now know the difference. Here's the truth nobody wants to say out loud. The 72-hour fast doesn't fail because it doesn't work. It fails because most people walk into one of the most powerful metabolic tools available to them, completely unprepared, and then blame the tool. You now know how to use it correctly. The prep, the protocol, the re-entry. Do it right, and 3 days from now, your body will be running cleaner, leaner, and sharper than it has in a long time. If this helped you, and I genuinely hope it did, hit the like button. It tells the algorithm this content is worth showing to the next person who needs it. And if you want to go deeper, the video on breaking a fast the right way is right there. Watch that next. It'll make everything we covered today click even harder. Take care of your body. It's the only one you've got. I'll see you in the next one. Disclaimer: this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. It is not medical advice. Everyone's body is different. Extended fasting is not appropriate for everyone, including those who are pregnant, have a history of eating disorders, or manage conditions like diabetes or low blood pressure. Always consult a qualified healthcare professional before making significant changes to your diet.